the biggest Nintendo Direct pretty much ever. The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct happening on April 2nd. But what matters here is how different this presentation is going to be.
I mean, I feel like we kind of already have an example of what to expect with the first Nintendo Switch presentation, right? Obviously, the difference was with that presentation, it was an in-person thing. It was in Japan. It was like a full-on event. But people look back really fondly at that Switch presentation, and I think they did a really good job of both sort of showcasing like what made the Switch interesting while also showcasing the HD Rumble and also giving us a lot of game reveals. I think people forget just how many games were revealed in that presentation, right? Things from Xenoblade to Mario Odyssey to the Fire Emblem Warriors games. I mean, it was just like banger after banger after banger. And I do think we're probably going to be looking at something kind of similar here. My only assumption would be that, one, it's, I don't think, going to be like a live recorded thing. I think it is like a pre-recorded direct. And I do think that like the focus for the hardware, similar to where we sort of had that focus on HD Rumble in the original one, is probably going to be a focus on whatever that mouse capability is, and probably is going to showcase some type of new game. But otherwise, I think for the most part, it's going to be laid out like the presentation was, and a little bit less like the directs that we've come to know and love over the course of the past couple of years.
I think it is going to be like laid out like in a similar format like the Switch presentation, but it'll have the advantage of being a Nintendo Direct in the sense that they're going to get to things way quicker. There's going to be a lot less fumbles like that translator era with Suda51. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. I feel so bad for him. I do think it's going to be a mix of like a traditional like stage show, but in a Nintendo Direct format. And in that sense, I also feel like they're going to show a lot more, maybe not a lot more, but they're going to show a few more games than they showed at that Switch presentation, because after they revealed a new game, they spent like 2 or 3 minutes with a developer to talk about it, like that Splatoon 2 guy, best guy, 10 out of 10. But they're not going to do that as much in this Nintendo Direct. It'll still be way snappier than a live stage show.
I do agree with you in the fact that I don't think we're going to get like extended developer talks about the games. But I do wonder, like, what do you guys think in terms of the UI? Like, do you think there's going to be a big focus on it at all? I know, obviously, that was one of the big things going into the Switch gen. And I'm wondering if we're going to maybe get some type of focus on that and how the system actually looks when you boot it up and the menus and things like that in a way that we wouldn't normally get from a Nintendo Direct.
Well, I think that the focus is going to be more hardware focused this time, mainly because the reveal trailer didn't show much. It was mostly a render and just showing a little bit of footage of the new Mario Kart, which of course is a massive deal because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bestseller of the Nintendo Switch, one of the best-selling video games of all time. Maybe not so many developers, but maybe they will bring someone from NVIDIA talking about DLSS, the deep learning super sampling upscaling, and showing the magic of what they are able to accomplish. And if they do that, I wouldn't be surprised if they use Breath of the Wild as an example, showing, oh, this is Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch, now with DLSS, look at how Nintendo Switch 2 Breath of the Wild looks like. TV or docked capabilities, which we only got a slight tease of in the end of the first look trailer, we're going to see far more when it comes to the TV play, because that's where they can make the big upgrade. I think we all can agree that the display is not going to go beyond Full HD 1080p. And we already pretty much know from leaks that it's an LCD display.
In complete agreement. I feel like, yeah, the Breath of the Wild example of some type of remaster is for sure something that we're probably going to get. I mean, look at when this thing was first teased and talked about and rumored way back when, right? When it was apparently shown behind closed doors at Gamescom. The whole big thing was they demoed it with Breath of the Wild. And so I think if they've been doing that already and sort of messing with it and seeing how it's going to run on the new system, that does seem like something that they would showcase. And obviously that game is such an iconic Switch game that it would be really easy for them to just be like, hey, this was our big focus with the original Switch. Here's how it looks running on the new system.
Maybe some people might groan like, oh, great. Is this going to be Nintendo's Skyrim? They're just going to re-release it every console generation. But I do think that's going to be a good showcase of what the system can do. I want to know, because we were just talking about Gamescom, are they going to show the Matrix at this Nintendo Direct?
No, you mean like
the Unreal Engine 5
thing?
Yes.
Yeah, probably not. I think especially because it's like a licensed thing, they'd mostly want to focus on like Nintendo IPs, especially considering this is like the big reveal of the system, right? If they're going to showcase the capabilities of how Unreal looks on it, I mean, maybe they might have it during like a third partner showcase thing or like a sizzle reel at the ending. That type of graphical capability, like showcasing what can actually run in the system, is going to be reserved probably for the latter half of the Direct and not really focused on like the hardware portion. I think some of the weird capabilities of the system, the things like the mouse controls, we'll find out what's going on with that connect button, that weird C button. Somebody propositioned, and I was like, this is actually a really cool idea, is having Nintendo Music be an app that's on the Switch 2 as well. So instead of having to have like, you know how like people want themes and people want to customize things, that you could literally just customize your home screen with music directly from the Switch Online app. And I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. You have the Nintendo Music app, you can have your, home screen play music from Animal Crossing or Pokemon or whatever, what have you, any of the retro games that they've put on there, and have, again, more of that seamless integration with the Switch Online apps, the bonuses that you get from Switch Online.
God, I hope so. I really want this UI to be cool. I don't know if Nintendo's gonna like majorly focus on the UI, but we will like see it in this Direct, like briefly. Yeah, because they did that with the Switch presentation also. Like those little CGI renders they had during that show. We saw the home menu, and we were like, oh, okay, it's a little basic, but surely it'll get updates in the next 8 years, and then that never happened.
They pretty much needed to sell us on this thing, much like they have to sell us on getting Breath of the Wild again. It needs to have something extra, There needs to be something spicy here. And giving very clear answers is what they have tried to establish, like with the name Nintendo Switch 2. They didn't want any risk whatsoever. I also think that's why they picked a Nintendo Direct format, because yes, it's a continuation of the Switch, it's a sequel of the Switch, so there's not going to be any changes in that regard. It's going to be the same experience, but just improved, better in every single way possible. And then of course I have a feeling that they will pretty early on, because that's what they did in the Nintendo Switch presentation, give us the price. I think they pretty much started actually the presentation in January 2017 by giving the price to 29,000 something yen and $299 US.
I think actually at the very beginning, if I'm remembering correctly, they gave the price and release date, and the big like end teaser closer of the presentation was saying, oh, and by the way, Breath of the Wild is the launch game and it's coming out same day as the Switch. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think price and release date are going to be right in front. Yeah. I think the reason no other company does that too is because of the fact that, you end up getting $599 US and you get all these memes, from like the PS5 Pro presentation and stuff like that. Whereas with the Switch 2, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised by like how affordable it is. Obviously, it's still a new video game system. It's going to be expensive, but I really am feeling pretty confident about that $399.99.
It's a strategy that also works because it's not the last thing you end up with. Instead, you end up with a game, and I have a feeling that that game is going to be the big game that they haven't revealed yet. New game, of course, and that's the new 3D Mario game. It's the 40th anniversary of Mario. It's literally a magnet. Speaking of magnets, one of the big selling points, and that's something also that I've been discussing previously with Joey, is significant increase in loading speeds and reducing in loading times, thanks to SSD drives. But here we are looking at I don't know how much of an SSD we're going to have. The rumors are, or pretty much leaks at this point, are 256 gigabytes of storage. And also capability with SD Express cards, which obviously would, if you're going to go for that kind of technology and read speeds, we are getting very close to the read speeds of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series.
That's like the thing I really want Switch 2 to have. Like, better graphics are like guaranteed, right? But if it loads like garbage, I'm going to be so upset. Give us those fast loading times, and I really hope that this might bring into another topic here. I really hope that we see Switch 1 games, maybe not all of them, but most of them will get like next gen patches or whatever for like those enhancements that we see on like, in the current gen consoles, PS5, some PS4 games get enhanced, and Series X, some Xbox games get enhanced.
Like, I just want them to explain as much as possible, because obviously the first look trailer was all about teasing. This is about explaining and removing any kind of hint of confusion that could arise from that first look trailer that we had. So the question I'm wondering is a little bit, since Mario Kart was such the only game that they dared to show in that first look trailer, how much time do you think that they will dedicate in the Direct to this new Mario Kart?
I think we will get a trailer. I do think Mario Kart is going to have its own like dedicated developer talk. Like it's not going to be like too insanely long. It's going to just be, talk about the changes that they made in this game, whatever the new hook is going to be. Maybe they'll talk a bit about Donkey Kong's design. Probably not.
They fully know that it's been a very long time. It's pretty much the GTA of the Nintendo Switch generation. And actually the Wii U generation as well, when we think about it, because it came out originally in 2014, May 2014.
I feel like whatever the gimmick of this game is going to be, it's feeling like a little bit less from the little bit that we've seen of it already, like some type of big crossover game, and more like some type of game that has like a fuel gimmick or something else that's going to be like tied into the subtitle. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily like a double dash situation, but almost like, I don't know, Mario Kart Overdrive or something like that. You know what I mean?
This is pretty much over to, could they be hiding any gimmicks? Because the C button, what's going on with that? Like, of course, we couldn't see that it is a C button, but we have the leaks out there of the controller looking identical. There's been so many rumors about communication and chatting and a new replacement of Miiverse. I am just curious, C button.
That's what the C button stands for. Curious, Konrad. That's what it stands for.
I don't think it is like a Miiverse replacement or something. I remember those early rumors where people saying it was like a video sharing thing or something. I mean, I actually wouldn't hate if it was like some type of Miiverse 2 type deal. What in my ideal world it is like a Street Pass type button, where maybe it's something where like you click the C button and then when you're walking around, going to do your errands or whatever and you have your Switch in your bag, that it's going to be able to like communicate with other systems. How the shop is going to work, right? Like the eShop is, or as people call it, Nintendo eSlop, right? Like it has so much garbage on it where I feel like, maybe they might take a little bit of time in this Direct to showcase what the shop layout's going to be like. I mean, I have a specific prediction of something I think would be very smart to do, but I'm going to save it for our other discussion because I think it's a hot button one. Cliffhanger, exactly. You got to watch the next video.
Exactly. On that note, we have reached the end of this video. We're on hardware, of course, namely the games. So if you don't want to miss that one, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and press the notification bell, so you will be notified. A big thanks as always to Joey for being here and for Roger Space joining for these 2 videos. You will be able to find him, of course, on his YouTube channel, as you can see in the end card, along with all social medias. A big thanks to all patreon.com/Konrad patrons, in particular Raw Producer, JC Funk, and heroes Cheryl, Garrett Hoy, Holly Wolf, and Kintaro. You all rock, and please enjoy one or both of these 2 awesome videos.